Hey, welcome to XCape Rentals here at Lake of the Woods, Minnesota. We're excited that you have a snowmobile rental with us coming up, and I'm going to give you some safety tips and show you a little bit about the snowmobiles you're about to ride. All right, these are our 2024 Skidoo Grand Touring models, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how to run them. So first things first is your red button right here is your kill switch that needs to be pulled up all the time or you won't be able to start the sled. Here is an orange button, and as long as the kill switch is up, you will be able to start the sled. In order to stop the sled, simply press down on the kill switch. All right, here we have on the right side is your throttle. So this is what's gonna have you go fast if you like. And over on the left-hand side is your brake. This is where you wanna slow down. And then we have hand warmers. So this is your right and left hand warmers right here. And so if you want them to go higher, more heat or less heat, you hit down. Then we have the plug in for your helmet here. We'll show you that in a minute. And then we have our fob, which is going to stay on the sled the whole time, unless you park it somewhere public for any time of period, in which case you can just pull it right off and take it with you. The sled will not start without the fob. All right, when the sled is running and you're going, we suggest that you clip the fob to something on maybe your belt or your jacket. I have a handy little carabiner right there, and that's if you fall off the sled, it's gonna kill the sled. If you need to go into reverse, remember reverse right knee. So down here, you're gonna see a lever with a big R on it. Pull it all the way up. Now we can reverse the sled with the throttle. And push it down to be able to go forward with the throttle. Let's talk a little bit about steering. Now these are Grand Touring sleds. They're not sports sleds. So one of the biggest things when it comes to snowmobiles is they're not nearly as responsive as your car or that kind of thing. And they're gonna take a little bit of effort to turn, and it doesn't happen immediately. So you're really putting the weight on the handlebars to turn the snowmobile. Now, one of the things that often happens with beginners is what we call a whiskey throttle. Just don't wanna hit that too hard. So when you're trying to turn the snowmobile to the left, you can sometimes by accident push a little hard on that throttle. So you really need to be aware of your hand, where they are when you're steering right and left of the snowmobile. The number one issue we see that can happen safety-wise is taking corners too fast. All right, this can cause the snowmobile to roll, or if you hit the throttle by accident when turning, you can end up just flying into some trees at high speed, and we definitely don't want to see that. It is the most common thing that will happen if you're not careful with your hand placement and you're taking those corners too fast. So I'm little, this is a big sled, and I don't take those corners too fast because my strength, upper body strength, and ability to control the machine is a lot less than a really big guy. And so you've got to gauge your speed and your corners based on your ability and your experience and your size and strength to be able to control the snowmobile. Steering is not done alone just with your upper body and your steering bars. You're actually going to be leaning with your body weight into the turns. So you lean into the turn. So if you're turning left, you lean your body weight. You put your body weight on that left leg, and same with on the right. You're taking that right and you're putting that body weight on the right. Your passenger, if you have one, would be doing the same, using the body to help steer. Now, if you happen to be going up an embankment or sideways on or horizontally on an embankment, it's really important to lean towards the upper part of the embankment. So let's say I'm on an embankment right now and it's headed that way. I'm gonna be leaning towards it. All right, the reason is if I lean this way, guess what's gonna happen? I'm gonna roll the snowmobile. Now, should that happen, what's really important to know is that you're gonna exit the snowmobile. It's very common that people will panic and they will go, if my embankment's this way, they'll get off the snowmobile this way, and guess what? The snowmobile is rolling on top of them. So we don't want that to happen. So what will happen is I'm on my embankment, I'm going along, I feel like it's tipping. I'm gonna jump off this way towards the top of the embankment. So that's a really important tip there. And as long as you're staying, using your body weight and holding on and using safe speeds, you're gonna be just fine. Here is your display for speed and how much gas you have on this side and the temperature of your motor. So if the engine gets too hot, it's gonna start beeping at you. That usually only happens if there's not enough snow to keep the engine cool. All of our sleds are equipped with the Lowrance, which is really handy if you are ice fishing. So that's the power button. Now, once it's powered up, an accept seats screen is gonna come up. You just hit the accept. And now, there you are. And we have a lot of the trails marked, which is the black line. And you can see that if I head to the right, I'm gonna get on the river, which is exactly where we are. So that's a handy way to know where you're at. We do suggest downloading the Skidoo Trail app. It's a wonderful app for knowing where you are in the world and keeping on those snowmobile trails. Your rental with us does not include fuel usage, so here is your fuel tank. We do suggest that you fill up before you bring it back. As you can see, our sleds are what's called 2-ups, which means they fit 2 people comfortably. So this is the passenger seat. You have a nice backrest here, and you also have some guards that keep the wind off your hands, but also some hand warmers. There's a button down here. Take a look here. You can see you can go hot or low, or turn it off is in the middle. So you hold on. As a passenger, it's absolutely imperative that you are holding on at all times. Nice and tight, squeezing the snowmobile with your legs and holding on. And when the snowmobile turns to the right, you lean to the right. When the snowmobile turns to the left, you lean to the left. And that's how you stay on the snowmobile and have an enjoyable ride as a passenger. One of the things we equipped all of our snowmobiles with is this handy dandy little storage tub. And you can put your purse or your supplies. One of the things that we absolutely suggest when you're on a full day or multi-day riding trip is that you always have water and proper intake of water when you're riding all day. It's amazing how you can actually really be burning some calories and some fluids. And so you want to have water and you want to have snacks with you on those longer trips. Absolutely imperative. So make sure that you are coming prepared with what you need, and that's what we have these storage bins for. One of the things we're going to do when you get here is fit you for a helmet. We have multiple sizes in both youth and adult with a heated visor. So you'll see it's attached to a cord here, and that goes right into this little hole, and it immediately starts warming up that visor, which is great because we tend to fog it up with our breath. One of the things you're gonna wanna get prior to your rental, if you don't own one, is a baklava, just like this. And it's a nice thin one is fine. So what we wanna do is tuck that baklava into our innermost layer, and that protects our neck from the wind, because we're not allowed to have any scarves or anything really dangling on the snowmobile, as it can get caught in the tracks and cause some deadly accidents. Now, the helmet has some handy dandy straps here that you're gonna grab and then slip over your head. And now you can adjust the straps here and you're good to go. Please be aware that upon your arrival or delivery of the snowmobiles, that it'll take about 20 to 30 minutes to get you fitted for your helmet, do some paperwork, and do a sled orientation. A couple rules to be aware of for your rental: that you are 21 or over with a valid driver's license. If 19 to 20, you can rent or drive our snowmobile with parental presence or permission. Number 2 is no alcohol or drugs before or during your rental. In the state of Minnesota, you can be issued a DUI for drinking and driving on a snowmobile. Number 3 is staying on the snowmobile trails. They are marked and they are just for snowmobiles. Also, on the lake and the frozen river is fine as well. No riding on private property, roads, or ditches, unless of course those roads and ditches are part of the snowmobile trail. Number 4, you are responsible for the risks and damage you may incur to yourself or the snowmobile. If born after 1976 and a resident of Minnesota, the Minnesota DNR requires you to complete a snowmobile certification course. That can be taken online, and the link to it is on our website and in your confirmation email. We're looking forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for renting with us.